Hello everybody, hopefully you are doing well. In today's video, we are going to talk about the verb practice. We are going to learn it in such a way that will help us use it while speaking. I always want to talk about the topic of speaking. I like it. I enjoy talking about it because I see that a lot of or a huge number of language learners still struggle with this particular skill, which is speaking. And I'm here to tell you why you still struggle with your speaking, and number two, which is more important, what you should do to overcome this problem. I'm going to show you what you need to do to overcome this problem, to get over this problem through learning or studying this particular verb practice. First and foremost, let's put this particular verb in different situations. Pay attention. We will move from what is most common or more common to what is less common. Situation number one. You can say, she practices the guitar every day. This is a very common use of the verb practice. We always use it with musical instruments. We can practice the guitar, the piano, the violin, and other musical instruments. This is very obvious situation. Number two, she, for example, practices Spanish by speaking to native speakers. This is another common use of practice. We always practice languages like English, like Germany, like Spanish. Okay? We still have more situations, extra contexts, where we can use the verb practice. Pay attention. As I said before, we will be moving from what is more common to what is less common. Okay? Number three. This one is less common than the previous two examples or two situations. For example, parents, or instead of parents, right? Mothers, specifically mothers. Mothers. Example, always practice patience with who? With their children. What do we mean by this? Practice patience, which means mothers are always patient with their children, always help their children whenever they need help. Is it clear? They or mothers always give in to their children's demands. This is what we mean by practice patience. Number four, what can we practice? Good. For example, my father practices medicine at a local hospital. We can also practice medicine. What do we mean by practice medicine? Which means my father works as a doctor at a local hospital. You see? We are moving to what is less common about the verb practice. We are feeding our brain with enough data, with enough information about the verb practice. Here we are drawing complete picture in our minds about the verb practice. We are feeding our brain with what is detailed and with what is common, what is general about the verb practice. If you want to have much control over something, you need to have enough data about it. It's like people. If you want to control someone, if you want to provoke someone, if you want to use a person, to manipulate a person, what you need to do? You need to learn everything about this person. If you learn everything about this person, if you have enough data, enough information about this person, you will be able to manipulate him or her. You will be able to have control over him. The same is true when it comes to learning something. You need to spend more time with anything you come to learn, and you need to collect enough data about it if you want to be able to use it properly and effortlessly. And here I can ask you a question. Why AI is powerful? This is a critical question, very important, interesting question that we need to find an answer to. In my opinion, AI or artificial intelligence is very powerful because of the huge data. Because of this huge data it contains. This is why AI is powerful, is dangerous, is controlling the world. Okay? One more situation we can say, for example, she practices, for example, law in a prestigious company or firm. Firm means company. What do you mean by practice law? Which means she works as a lawyer in a prestigious firm, in a big, huge firm. Okay? You see how we use the verb practice? This is how I would like you to learn things, to address things. One more situation. My, for example, sister, for example, always, or practices without always, practices mindfulness through meditation every morning. Okay, what do you mean by practices mindfulness? Which means she does exercises of relaxation, which means she relaxes her mind and her body every morning because she wants to reduce her stress, her pressure of life, because she wants to start her day as good as possible. Okay. One more situation. What can we practice in your opinion? Example, you can say, it's good to practice, for example, hygiene to avoid illness or illnesses. Okay. What do you mean by practice hygiene? Practice hygiene, which means to take care of your body, to clean your body regularly every day. Okay, this is a good habit to have. Okay, this is a good habit to embrace. It will help you keep healthy. It will help you keep in a good condition. Okay, one more situation can say, for example, people in general, people need to practice caution Caution, we like attention, okay? To pay attention, to practice caution while driving in the rain. Okay, for example, driving in the rain or in the snow. Okay, what do you mean by practice caution? Which means people should be more careful, more cautious when the weather is terrible, when the weather is bad, because driving through or in a bad weather, in a terrible weather condition or conditions is difficult. We need to practice caution when the weather is terrible, when the weather is bad or miserable. Okay, you see how we address things. Listen, situations are very powerful. If you want to understand something very well, pay attention. If you don't understand something very well, there is a good chance or you are unlikely to be able to use them while speaking. The only way to be able to use something while speaking is to learn it very well while the learning process. I always emphasize the idea of learning things in situations, in context, because contextual learning is powerful. Contextual learning helps you understand things well enough. I always emphasize the idea of situations. Why? Because situations act like angles, through which we see something. Okay, suppose we have a building. We have a building or we have a house. Okay, if we see from this angle, we will see a lot of objects inside this house. If we change the angle, we will see other different things that we cannot see from this angle. Okay, and situations act like angles, and the verb here acts like the building. Whenever we change the angle, we will be able to see different things, various things, multiple things that we cannot see from, for example, the first angle or the previous angles. This is why we need to see anything we come to learn from different angles. Okay, this is how I would like you to address things, because as I said before, contextual learning is powerful, is very helpful, is very useful if your aim, if your objective is speaking, is fluency. Have a nice day. Bye.